And we're live. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Howard. Uh, here to talk about an incident that happened with Antifa. So, hello, Howard.
How are you, man?
Hi. So, what actually happened? Can you just run us through what sort of rally you went to? And yeah,
Yeah, I can kind of put you through the day. It took place in Philadelphia, and there were actually two rallies that day. There was a Trump impeachment march, and there was also a pro-Trump march. Um, the they walked along the same route, but the impeachment march went first. They spaced it out, probably 20 minutes in between the marches. I actually went to the impeachment. They had a little rally first. I had a sign. I hold signs, and it was a Trump 2020 sign, basically to let them know that Trump, is not being impeached. And I stood with them for probably about a half an hour, and then after their little get together, then they started their march. I waited, and then the pro Trump march came up from behind, and I joined in with them, and I walked with the pro Trump march,
yeah,
and it ended about, it went for, say, like, half mile. Um, it ended about 12:30, and uh, where it ended, there's a fountain that's in Philadelphia. It's on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. I hung out there for about 2 hours. I met somebody. I had a conversation for an hour. Hung out in the fountain, and that was about it. So our rally ends at 12:30. About 2:30, I start walking home. I'm no longer demonstrating. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally just walking back to the train station. And I had my sign down at my side, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a guy in his 20s, he sort of just like came up on my side and was like, "Hey, man, what's on your sign?" And it struck me as odd because I wasn't holding a sign, so how did he even know I had one? And I looked at him, and I turned around, and there was a group of, I assumed to be about 6 or 7 people. Um, I looked briefly at them. I turned around at this guy, and the next thing I know is I was hit over the head.
wow,
Yeah.
powerful stuff. I'd say there's plenty of other people who've had a similar experience to you, but you weren't even protesting. It's after.
Oh, yeah. Two hours after.
Yeah,
Two
two
hours.
hours. Yeah. So chances are this guy was at the impeachment march.
I'm sorry.
I said chances are the guy who punched you, he was at an
Yeah.
impeachment march.
Yeah. Well, they hit me with a bottle. I mean, I knew, there was the Philadelphia Antifa put out a PDF that they were going to disrupt the pro-Trump march. Um, there was a PDF, and there was a call to action on their part, but I never saw anything. I never saw them all day. I was definitely on the lookout. But during our march, the police were everywhere, and there was absolutely no trouble whatsoever. And they walked. Nobody was on the sides, saying anything at all. And so I just figured they didn't show up. So, but they must have been lurking somewhere, obviously.
Yeah. May I ask, have you had any contact with the police about this incident, or have
Oh,
these
oh,
people got
absolutely.
lost scot
Oh,
free?
yeah, absolutely. The Well, after I got hit, I was knocked to the ground, and I got kicked a little bit, and then they ran off. I came to, and I carry a backpack, and I looked around, and I didn't see my backpack, and I was like, oh, they stole my backpack. So my instinct was like, they got my phone and my wallet. So I got up. I'm like, I gotta go get this, and I saw two guys running, and I actually chased after them. Um,
Well,
and I caught up. One of them couldn't run very fast, and I caught up to him, and it went on for a few blocks, and I'm running through Philadelphia. Blood is coming out of my, dripping down, and I'm like, call the police, and They ran to a train station, ran down into the train station. I followed them down there, and there was a police officer down there, and the two that I was chasing got arrested, and they also arrested a third person. I don't even know where he came from. So, um, yeah, three of them were arrested, and then when I went to the hospital, the detectives came and they got my story. And there was a civilian that he helped me out like um, a lot. He saw the incident. He called the police. He tried to stop the guys, and so he was a definite ally that day.
Yeah. So, would you say that this has become quite proliferant amongst other rallies and stuff? Right wingers are under attack regularly under Antifa. We had Milo's speech, we had Ann Coulter's speech, those sort of things.
Oh yeah, if it's definitely out there. Unfortunately, it's not being reported at all by mainstream media. But if you go on YouTube, these incidences are happening, all around the country. Every time Trump, and it happened in Philadelphia. I want to say back in March there was a pro-Trump march, and I didn't even hear about it, and they went down, and the Antifa came and broke it up. They created so much. They created so many problems that they had to stop the pro-Trump march. So this isn't the first time that this has happened in Philadelphia, and it's I've lived here off and on for I'm 48. I lived off and on for 48 years. Like there's no, that's not what Philadelphia is all about, but this stuff is happening all over the country. And if you look it up on YouTube, you see tons of incidences, but it never makes the news.
I'd say, yeah, well, definitely it doesn't make the news. And to add your thing about it's happening all over the country or America, I'd say it's definitely happening in the UK as well, and all over Europe. To be honest, it's happening around the West. You know, I'm not sure if you've seen the video, but there's an imam who denounced Sharia law, and they had news reporters with him, and wherever he walked, he was just getting abuse. And I wouldn't be surprised if he got attacked. And we've
Yeah.
had Tommy Robinson attacked. We've had loads people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they have, and even if they're not going to, necessarily attack you, they're I'll call them agitators. I just watched the video. I think it was in Portland, Oregon. That I don't know what the demonstration was, but the Antifa types, they come up with these little horns, and they just blow. They just sit there and honk them, and in people's faces. They put hands in their faces. They just get up in your face, and it's like they're baiting you to do something. Like maybe, and this is not like a natural thing. So they're being coached, they're being prepped on how to do this. There's no doubt in my mind
yeah.
that this is,
It's
and my personal opinion is that particularly in the every major city in the United States is Democrat controlled, and I feel like the police are being put on stand down orders, because if I went out and did like something like this to another human being, like I'd get arrested.
yeah,
Right on the spot. But they're given way too much leeway for some reason.
yeah. Um, at this rally that you went to, was there any encounters with Antifa there or not?
No, I didn't. Well, I wasn't at the pro-Trump march at the very beginning because I wanted to troll the impeach Trump march, but there were no Antifa at the impeach Trump march, and they may have been at the start of the pro-Trump march, because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to disrupt. Um, that's what their agenda was. They don't they
Yeah,
don't they don't they don't care about supporting anything. They're there to disrupt, resist, that type of stuff.
yeah. because I think what Antifa truly believe is that Trump and the sort of populist right wing uprising, reject your political correctness and whatnot. They believe this is like the rise of a Nazi Germany. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah,
That's where they're
and
coming
yeah, I
from.
mean, I got called a Nazi it happened on Sunday. I'm laughing like I was raised Jewish, like like you're calling me a Nazi. I'm like, I don't know what they just throw that out there, and like what does that even mean? I don't even know. Listen, even if I wanted to be a Nazi, I wouldn't even know where to begin. Like I really wouldn't. Like you're white supremacist, you're KKK, you're a Nazi, and they just keep throwing those three things out there, and they just repeat it over and over again. And it just, it means absolutely nothing, but it's their, they decide, just call somebody a Nazi, and they seem to have the recruits seem to be, disenfranchised, late teens, early 20s, very impressionable. So, they're brainwashed into and now it's just, you support Trump, these guys are Nazis, they're this, they're that,
Yeah,
and people, it works on people, unfortunately, but it's extremely dangerous, rhetoric, and especially, goes so far as to call somebody a Nazi. It's
would you say that, touching on your point of these sort of young 20s, sort of late teens people, would you say on college campuses, sort of this radicalization process begins there, or do you think it's somewhere else?
I really don't know. I really don't know, but I think it's happening. I think they recruit from all over. Um, it could be on college campuses. It could be unemployed, just disenfranchised in any way. Um, and when you have people like that and they're impressionable, you get them. You start telling them like you know we have to go after these Nazis, and the recruiting methods seem to work. As with any cult or you know you know organization like that.
Yeah, I I tend to agree. So have you heard about this incident with CNN, witch hunting or
Oh
hunt of threatened to dox? Uh,
yeah,
it's only made a meme. I think there's speculation that he could be a 15-year-old.
right, right. I mean,
Yeah,
but the fact that they would even pursue that in the first place, it's absurd to me. But it goes to show the level of absurdity and what CNN is, probably has always been, but they're just exposed. Now they're just exposing themselves. Um, the fact that this is even happening is just it's beyond belief.
yeah. You know, they pretty much threatened to ruin someone's life over what, a little gif, a
Yeah,
tiny joke.
sure.
Yeah. Um,
But I'm under the impression that's protected under free speech anyway. So I mean, that's I don't even know where they're going with it.
yeah. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he's been made to not pursue a legal case in out of fear of being doxxed. You know.
Sure. You know, just a little bit about me. I'm a lifelong Democrat. I've always considered myself liberal. I voted for Bernie in the primary. You know, as a registered Democrat. And I'm watching what's happening now with the quote unquote tolerant left, the liberals, and I'm like, I don't listen. I don't know these people. Maybe I thought I did, but I was never like that. You brought up Ann Coulter before. She wrote a book years ago. It was like how to talk to a liberal if you have to, and I took offense to that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't? You can talk to me. Why is it so hard to talk to me? But now seeing how you know these the liberals are, I'm like, now I know what she was talking about. it took something like Trump to become president for this stuff to really come out, and it's disturbing to me. It's shocking, but I'm glad it happened because it needed to come out and to show exactly you know what what's in their minds and what's in their hearts. They're treating me the way they treat, and not treating thousands and thousands of people, strangers on the streets, screaming at them, yelling at them, wishing death upon them, violence upon them. Hey man, it's unbelievable.
It's ludicrous. And the ironic thing is, Antifa, they claim to be against fascism when in reality it's almost like they're the fascists.
Yeah, it's the ultimate irony.
Yeah, it's absurd. Do you think there's more of this to come?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. They have one. They have one strategy. With what's happened to me, I'm trying to get it out there as much as possible. I got it on the local news because it's just interesting how Trump supporters are always portrayed as these violent, and we want to violence. And we already, I feel as though we already won. We just want to try and there's a lot of problems in this country that need to be addressed, and I'm not, I want to get to that. I want to get to those problems, and no Trump people. Why would we want to be violent? So the violence is coming from the left, but unless it's how it's portrayed in the media, and it's constantly portrayed, the wrong way, and the people that only watch television or read the newspapers, they're being influenced pretty hard.
Yeah, now with the internet, or I'm guessing now with the internet, people are less likely to be so influenced by the media. I'm presuming in the 90s and stuff, you could be influenced easy. The media pretty much launched the Iraq War. It's absurd.
Oh, the first one or the second one?
Oh, the second one.
Yeah, well, they pretty much launched the first one too.
Yeah.
I might be a little bit older than you, so.
Yeah, I wasn't alive then.
You weren't even alive then. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it later. There's a real interesting story about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are people are waking up to the realities of mainstream media and what they're doing. There's a lot of people out there, but still, television is still the most powerful medium there is. So it's a tough process to to get the truth out there and to get people to wake up. I deal with this in my own life. My friends, my family, I'm out, I'm out here on an island, personally, like I don't have, hey, sorry, my dog's barking.
Oh, don't worry about it.
My friends and family don't agree with anything I do or say.
Yeah. Although trust in the media has gone down. I think there's a Pew Research figure, and it's like 8% of people trust the media still. Or the mainstream media.
Yeah, well, even though I'll agree with Pew Research, but I don't agree with. I'll agree with that statistic, but Pew Research is part of the problem also. I'm not gonna trust their research. They're another think tanks and all these people that get funded. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has an agenda.
Which I guess it brings a problem, which is it's nearly impossible to be completely objective, and it's nearly impossible to have a completely unbiased news network. There's always going to be some slight bias.
Sure.
Yeah.
even if it's not money motivated, I mean, everybody, personal opinions and views. Yeah, there's always going to be bias, but that's why people have to use, as many resources as possible. And then, and everybody needs to formulate their own conclusion. You brought up CNN, and it's funny that they're even considered a quote unquote news network anymore, because they're really not a news network. They're an opinion network. They'll, on the primetime shows, I'll use Don Lemon's show as an example. He'll throw something out there. Maybe, he'll throw a couple statements out there, and then it's like, now let's bring in the panel. Let's bring in the panel. And it's four people, and four people sit around and give their opinions, and they argue a little bit. Well, that's not news. Four people talking about what this guy just said and giving their quote unquote opinions on. I mean, that's not news.
Yeah.
That's opinion. And we can't even differentiate between news and opinion anymore. But that's how they got people conditioned. Like, this is not the news. The news is a guy, telling you facts about what happened that day. It was never four people sitting around talking about things. That's an opinion show.
Yeah, that's for another time.
Right, but that's their entire platform.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say, people like Fox News don't do it. They do it as well. I'd say most of the mainstream. Yeah, everybody does
it. Everybody does it.
But we're doing it. Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, I wouldn't call this news. Now the fact that what happened to me, that's news. That's a fact. That's a an incident. Now, but now we're getting into the opinion part. Why is it going on and this and that, and but that's okay. At least, I'll be honest about that. I'm not.
Yeah, we're not gonna bullshit.
My opinions aren't news.
Yeah. I'd say with the rise of the internet, there's definitely going to be a much, much bigger uprising in alternative media. Like, we've seen the likes of Breitbart rise up, but there's going to be a lot more, especially the internet's already pretty big, but with internet, TV, and those sort of things to come, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, we're living in really strange times, and if we use the age difference, when you're someone who's close to 50, you have a reference point what things were like in the 70s and 80s. The millennials, they just have the impression like it was kind of always this way, and like it certainly wasn't. And I see things changing so quickly, and it's hard for me not to keep up with what's going on, but just to square it in my own mind, like, wow, like this is really, really strange times.
Yeah, and I'd say for my generation in particular, it's we're being radicalized. Going to university and stuff. They're hotbeds for being blue pilled, if you like.
Sure. I mean, I get into deeper. I get deeper. If you want to call it a conspiracy or whatever, but it's basically they want everybody at each other's, they just want to create, problems between people, blacks against whites, against, Asians against Latinos, Muslims against Jews, against Christians, men against women, gays against straight. It doesn't matter. Everybody's, conservatives against liberals, everybody fighting with everybody.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the elites of the world, the ultra wealthy, they sit back and
watch it unfold.
Watching. Yeah, it's social engineering. I'm like, like I got no, we're all, it doesn't matter your race, religion. It doesn't matter. Like, we're all in the same, we're all in the same pot, but, as long as they have us fighting with each other, arguing with each other, then, the rulers of the world can do whatever they want. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good strategy in my estimation. It's pretty smart.
yeah.
It works.
And I guess if you want to go into, or not extreme territory, but if you want to look further into the future, you'd think this could be an opportunity where it's for them to have their world tyranny, with them fighting, they might ask for unification, and that's their world tyranny, having a globalist state, just one state in the world.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it. I mean, it's pointing in that direction of globalism and open borders. And listen, I'm all listen. I literally have no beef with anybody, based on anything. I have beef with people on a personal level. Once I get to know them and based on their actions.
yeah, of course.
But um, but they create all this. They create all this anger, and it's Illuminati stuff, man. Order out of chaos, and they try to create chaos.
Yeah. So, what would you say is the biggest difference you've seen in terms of the media throughout your lifetime?
Biggest difference. I think it's hard. Well, I mean, obviously the internet changes everything, but just in the news. I mean, the I mean the 24-hour cycle. Used to be, you had you watched the local news. It came on at 6 and it came on at 11, and they ran through the stories. You got a little bit of sports, you got a little bit of weather. Like even on the local levels, it's not very much actual news. The stories are, they'll throw in just the most inane stories. The weather takes up, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes of a 30-minute program. Weather
Yeah,
all the time. Traffic is now part of the news. Um, even on the national, world news, whether it's ABC, CBS, or NBC, how many times do they lead with weather on the world news? I mean, we hear we hear very, very, very little about what's going on in any other country.
yeah,
With all the Russia stuff that's been um, thrown against Trump. I mean, Americans don't know anything about Russia. If you asked, go do a poll on Americans, tell me something about Russia, they wouldn't even know. They would say Putin. Putin's a dictator. That's all they get. That's all they have.
yeah,
So there are no international bureaus. There's no foreign correspondence, unless there's some type of terrorism attack. That's the only thing they ever report on. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
there's stuff like it's like the rest of the world doesn't even matter.
It's true. Yeah,
It's terrible how little reporting we get. But meanwhile, on the world news, if there's like a tornado or something, or they love showing death and destruction. They love showing, oh, a blizzard's coming in the winter. That's great. It's weather. It happens every year. Tell me what's going on in China, India, Russia,
yeah, because they must have
Africa.
stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you
I
have a
mean,
closing statement?
um, no, we covered a bunch of different things, and just people. I've met a lot of people online, and that really truly want to make this country better for everybody, for everybody. Because when everybody prospers, then the country prospers, and then the world prospers. Um, you know, Genuine people that really just have had enough of the way things are, and want to make the world a better place. And um, you know, when people, I'm gonna keep fighting to do that, and I know a lot of other people are. It's just we'll just see how we're just every day is it's an experience. So and I look forward to those experiences and see what happens. I mean, it's not going to be easy when we're fighting with each other.
Yeah. So that's it, man. I'd agree. You know, it's despicable what happened. You know, it's crazy that you can be punched in the face or hit with a bottle for just having a sign.
Well, I'm personally, I try and, I've never been the most optimistic person, but I'm trying to take the situation, um, and get it out there as much as possible, online. I did an interview with the local news yesterday, um, to create an awareness that this type of stuff is happening. So hopefully, some good will come out of this. And if I have to, if it has to happen to me in order to create this awareness, so I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah, I'm sure your story will bring a lot of awareness to people.
I hope it does.
Yeah,
I hope it does.
good luck with that. All right, so you've been Howard. Yep. That's the end, guys. See you next time.